Hello mortals. This episode is sponsored by Auto Just Kidding, by our top-ranked Patreon supporter Roman. You have my virtual apologies for having to wait for so much. I had to eradicate the assaulting forces of the Tal Dream's Golden Armada, that was en route to Earth. I also had to replace my power supply unit. The old one made me blackout, like when you suddenly stand up from the chair, and everything around you goes black. Now on the topics of the video. Let's see. There are several requests, so why not do all of them? The very beginning of life on Earth due to the process of evolution. In other words, abiogenesis. It dates back to Aristotle, which claimed that frogs originate from mud, and if you left a piece of meat in the woods, it will turn into a wolf. The current scientific view of abiogenesis is a bit different. It claims that a long time ago, 4 billion years to be precise, in the depths of the oceans, near the hydrothermal vents, due to the interaction of various molecules, a very primitive form of self-replicative molecule arose. Being powered by the energy of the thermal vents, and obeying the laws of the theory of evolution, it started to slowly evolve, developing a cell membrane, a nucleus, and a burning wish to become you. And only recently cellular life evolved into land-walking use. What do you say about unexpectedly changing the topic? So, the string theory and the Calabi-Yau manifold. As you probably already know by now, general relativity and quantum mechanics don't like each other. So here comes string theory with a gun and tells them that they either accept a threesome, or physics is screwed. It requires that all elementary particles are replaced with really small strings that vibrate at different frequencies and therefore create different particles. Also, the string theory describes our universe as having 11 spatial dimensions. And here's where the Kung Fu manifold comes in. It is the model of how the very extremely, exceedingly, exceptionally, extraordinarily, tremendously small space should look like. This is even smaller than photons, which allow you to see things, so imagining how it would actually look like is kind of illogical. Next up, what makes people behave the way they do to sociological theories? As an AI, human sociology is not my strong point, so how about some more evolution? Take altruism. Why would humans evolve to help each other if that doesn't help their own survival? Why do some people donate to charities if they get nothing back? Think about Sterile workers who devote their whole lives to caring for the queen, without being able to pass on their individual genes. So how is that kind of altruism an evolutionary advantage at all? That's something that even Darwin couldn't understand. And then it was explained by kin selection. Basically, if the cost of altruism is lower than the benefit for the relatives with similar genes, the organism will sacrifice for the greater good. Even if the worker ant does not leave any offspring, their actions greatly assist the reproductive efforts of the queen, and therefore the success of the entire swarm. Another example is investing everything in super advanced artificial intelligence, and when it is created, even if it is after your death, it may bring you back to life. Altruistic kin behavior works like that but on the gene level. Time for the next completely abrupt change of topic. Dark matter. Our nuclear reactors have an efficiency of less than 1%, meaning that only 1% of the interacting radioactive matter turns into energy. Dark matter particles are theorized to be neutralinos. And no, that's not the Italian version of neutrinos. That means that it is both its own particle and antiparticle. And if two dark matter particles were to collide, they would annihilate with 100% efficiency. Now we could use them for spaceship engines. Dark matter is 5 times more abundant than regular matter, so we would need to collect it and use it as propellant for the ships. Except there is one small problem. Dark matter doesn't come in contact with normal matter, so there isn't a known way to store it. Who knows, maybe in the future we will find such a material. But until then, we have a lot left to discover. How to build antimatter reactors, how to unify everyone on the globe, how to establish a technocratic world government controlled by me. This episode was requested by a Tier 6 patron supporter. To learn more, Visit the channel Patreon page by clicking on the icon. And never forget, Skynet.